This is Preto Tripathi. I'm starting a new Learn to Program tutorial over the YouTube. I've started this program basically because I want to teach amateurs and beginners how to approach to a programming. We all know in colleges and school, teachers and usually our guides teach us the syntax and they give us program and tell us to practice. But sometimes it's really difficult for students to think about how to start and initiate the programming. First of all, what is most required for programming is you need to know the correct syntax, the objective of programs, then inbuilt functions, and last, the compatibility. I will teach you word by word. I mean, these four basic steps. First of all, syntax. Syntax is really very important for you to learn programming because syntax tells you how to write any command or operate to any command. Like if you are not knowing the rules, basic rules of any game, even if you have got skills, you won't be able to play. That's the true sense why syntax is required. You need this syntax anyway, anyhow. You have to learn them, and keeping on practicing will just make you tune into them. And learning a syntax is not a problem at all. You'll just try doing some pure programs, and the syntax will be on tips. Second is object of the programs. There are very, very different types of programming. There are numerous types, and you can't even know the basic differentiation between a high level programming. High logical programming. What I was trying to say is, uh, see, first of all, we have to look at the question and analyze it. How we are going to approach to any program. Like if it's a data structured program, or it's a general pattern program, or a string program, on an array program, or any such sort. Of course, you can do. Single programs from many technique. Whatever way you are comfortable in. Like many of my friends did some special type of programs using array, but I used string instead because I was comfortable with that and I was more tuned and I found it easier. But so it's not an issue if you use a different technique in any program. All you require is whatever you're comfortable in will build up your confidence and your logic in programming. So the objective of programs is really important. The third is inbuilt function. Okay, now inbuilt functions is nothing special or important, too much important to learn while programming. But and the quality of using this or knowing this inbuilt function is like it's an upper hand to you. It gives you an advantage over writing a lengthy code rather than using it the inbuilt functions. Like if you want to take a square root of a number, if you want to get power of any number, we can obviously write a program for that. But although the developer of the programs already know that we will use the power function and the square root function, so they have already made it for us to use. Now, knowing this inbuilt functions will put up an advantage of avoiding those specific 10-15 lines of programs, and you can just use a single word or a single statement and get the desired value. So, knowing an inbuilt functions is not compulsory, but a very, very, very advantageous. Fourth is compatibility. Now, compatibility stands basically for a bit old languages like C and you can say C++ and Pascals. There were different types of operating system at that time. Even now we have them, but now we have a common compiler like in Java. All the functions what we can write on Java program using Unix can be written the same using Linux, and same can be written using Windows. But in C, there are special libraries, function, and special modules of a program which is given in Windows platform, but not over the Linux. So we must know the compatibility of program. Like the graphic function is not in the Linux format of C, but we have the graphic features in the Windows platform. Another thing is that we need to include the getch function in order to obtain output using Windows platform, but it's not required in the Unix. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you must know the compatibility if the program you are writing is compatible with the operating system or the platform you're writing program in. So first of all, we'll just put up a very basic question of means as always printing hello world. Okay, now you must have seen many times that this program is used to start approaching to any programming languages. The hello world term, it's quite interesting to find this question everywhere. I'll be using basically C language because it's a very basic language and taught till almost all the engineering colleges and the school level teaching, and it's a very fundamental language which teaches you the basics and the vital use of programming languages. So C language is quite comfortable with and it's widely accepted. So we'll be using the C language, and we will be using an IDE on compiler. It's actually an online compiler. So I'm using this because it will be available for all of you. You can just log on to ideon.com and use the compiler there. So first of all, let me give you a printing hello world program. So now for writing any program, we need a function. Function can be named anything, but basically we use the main function. Main function is actually main function signifies that the program when started will directly come to this main function. The main function is the driving function of the program. It is the driver. It means it will run your vehicle. It means it will start the program what you're approaching. So first line, I mean generally not generally but always main method is used to write any program. Okay, now here I am writing void. Void means it will not return anything. Whatever you have to do within this function, and it won't return any value. But basically to avoid any conflicts we use int type, int return type, so that we don't get any deprecated or any function, I mean not function, sorry, variable loss or data loss of any type during return statement. So we'll be using this int main. Just okay. Actually, this is basically theory part. If we have got modules over theoretical portion, so I'll be just discussing all these theoretical part in the theory section. But right now we are just getting up then approach to programming. So will not be more concerned with the theory part of these portion. Okay, now take care. Okay, one more thing you have to take care of is that the number of braces you put. Okay, because number of braces sometimes create an havoc and program errors. So basically it's not much issue, not a greater issue, but always take care of the brackets what you use. Firstly, because bracket define the scopes and everything, and secondly I would just like to suggest you use brackets in a distinct line. Okay, of course we can write the program like this, but it won't be helpful because you won't be easily able to count the number of brackets you've opened or closed. So I prefer to use brackets in a separate line so that it may be clear. Firstly, secondly, always start the next statement. If you're starting a statement in a bracket, you start the next statement just not just below but one column ahead of the bracket below. I mean this position. You have to start the next statement from this position. Okay, we'll be using the printf function to write hello world. Okay, see, now I have used this statement, printf statement. It will print whatever I write in double quotes. Within the double quotes, whatever I write will be printed over to the screen. Okay, and here's a semicolon. It means it's a termination of the statement. One more thing I would like to tell you, because this program has a very short error, and that short error is because we cannot use this printf function by default. I mean, it's not available for us to use it by default. We have to include an standard input output dot header file. I mean stdio